Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. My flying rock is getting there slowly. There's a long way to go still, but on the rust side of things, I'm getting quite close to finishing off all the worst parts at least. I am looking forward to making the last of rust video very soon. Anyway, what I want to tackle today is the rust right here. I've done some stuff on the other side. I made some small repairs off camera. Let me show you that firstly. So as you can maybe see, I gave it a lick of paint on this side. I am not terribly happy with it. One thing is I'm not a very good painter. And the other thing is the paint match. This is very shiny now, and I think this with a wash and a polish will be better. But it is definitely, there is definitely a color difference. But it's all right. It is what it is, at least. I've also made a repair down there. Still need to fold that edge around. It's difficult to do because of the lift. But the sills are done on this side. I gave it some paint. I also started to protect the inside of here. This is quite deformed, the hole, but the rust is gone. And I got and this hole needs to be plugged up with a plug anyway, so it will be just fine. That's done. I've also installed the outrigger in there. It needs to be protected a little bit better, but I'm just painting it every time I go away from the garage. I give it a coat of paint. That way I don't have to smell it. But this side is pretty much done. And as you can also see, the axle is actually back in place, getting ready to install that soon also. But I want to tackle the rust on the other side firstly. The last thing I want to show is in here. I really haven't used a lot of time sanding or prepping this area in here, so it is a bit rough, but it's hidden, and it is something that I can always improve on. And as some of you mentioned, yes, the door can still close. The gap is a little bit smaller down here, but it's all right. Remember, I had this entire wing off. It's going to be interesting to see how much shine I can get in the old paintwork, considering comparing it to this area that I painted. My goal was to only have to paint in here, then it wouldn't really matter. But I had to paint this area, and I ended up painting this entire panel actually. And the thing is, I'm gonna paint the entire wing on the other side because I'm gonna install a new one. So I need to paint something. So this is the paint coat, this is the correct paint coat, but there is a lot more shine in it. Hopefully this will polish into something that looks a bit like this. The other side is luckily a lot better than the other side. Actually, the hole is only down here. It is going on to the other side also. I was wondering if I could fit a panel in and grab a hold of this ledge in here so I didn't have to mess with this. But I have decided to try to remove this plastic bit slowly. Hopefully I won't break it. That would be a shame. But if I can remove this, I would be able to cut the panel up here. Fix the rust down there, weld the panel back on, glue this back on, and it will be virtually invisible. So, well, not invisible, but it would be pretty good. So I'm going to try with a heat gun to apply heat on the rear of the panel, and then hopefully be able to... Oh yeah, it's coming. And when it's just a little bit, maybe put this plastic bit in here, continue to apply heat. Now I really don't want to damage the paint or the plastic bit. Yeah, there we go. It's coming off. It's off. And it's undamaged. This is not damaged, or at least I didn't do that. It's possible to take it off, heat from the rear. Slowly, slowly, slowly. This means that I can cut this piece away. It's already let go in the spot weld, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the material is good enough I think I'm just going to take it off up here like that. I might as well do it as high as possible because it will be hidden. So if I cut it down like this, it would be nice. I'm going to do that. There we go. Good thing I cut it a bit higher than planned, because then I can fix this also. This seems rather solid up there, so that's nice. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. As mentioned in the previous video, I got this repair piece from Matthias, who is an amazing dude who is helping me out, sending this for free. It's amazing. I'm not gonna use it though. Not on this side. I used it on the other side, as you know. I'm gonna keep this because this is not really, it's really not that bad. It's a lot easier to just, well, it will be quite easy to just fix. And also this area is not great on this panel either. So I'm gonna keep this for my 4x4 BX project. I will need parts for that, so that's really nice. So I will be attempting to make this repair panel, and I'm just going to take a piece of metal and see how well I can form it before starting to cut away. So I'm going to start with this piece of metal, and I want to make it all the way down here. So firstly I want to line up the first bend. About there, and then just do that bend. There we go. That's the first bend, and then the next bend is right there, that goes up. So I want to measure that. Need to tighten up that a bit. Yeah, that's all right. Now I want to roll this to follow that edge. Yeah, that's all right. And then I want to start to trim it down a little bit. This edge right there I want to create. And I also want to keep, but I want to make this panel cover this area also because it's quite runny and fold around the edge. So I need to go out there at least. Then I can mark that line right there. Follow this out like this. I think this is pretty decent. This seems pretty nice. And then I'm just going to roll the edge right here. And then there is quite a few bends actually going on, and I can't see completely how they are supposed to go, but I would presume that this goes down like this. So somewhere around this line it will disappear, and then we'll go like this and like this. This area in here is also kind of the same. So it's getting there. I'm gonna start to trim it down a bit because that will make it a lot easier to form. Something like this. I'll cut this away. So the piece is cut down a bit. I think I can hand form it slightly also now. Just gonna use the car as an anvil for a bit without hammering too much, because I will just deform the car also. I also need to take into account that everything will be lowered slightly once I cut the old material out. So it's not going to be precisely where I am now. Now I'm going to make this piece up here later on. So I'm not even sure that I want to go up that high on this panel. I think I'm just going to cut this away, like so, and with a bit more cut away, and yeah, this is starting to look pretty decent. Trying to crisp up this line just a little bit more. So I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get it. So I think I'm gonna cut it down even more now. Maybe it's alright like this. Maybe it's just time to cut the old material away. If I outline this, it won't work because it is going to move down a little bit because it's resting on the old material right now. So what I want to do is to mark it like so, and then add the material thickness down here. So I'm going to cut on the outside of the line down here and on the line down there, and it's going to be not completely off at least. And hopefully it will line up alright. Yeah, I think this will be pretty good at least. Now it's lowered so that I can mark it up here, and it will match pretty much. So we'll do that now. Like so, and cut that out. I do have some issues with my camera. It's cutting out. I think it's something to do with the memory card. or rust, dust, who knows. But I cut this out now, cleaned up this edge. It's luckily good enough to work from. So now this should be a pretty decent fit that I can form along the way while I weld it in. So that is what I'm gonna do now. Just gonna clean up the edge and start welding, and maybe just do a little bit of a cleanup because it's getting a bit messy in here. Firstly, clean up the edge. And maybe just mark up for a spot weld right there. That would be nice. Maybe even down here also. It's quite solid down under, so down under. That's about it. It's welding time. Tack it into some random spots now and then form the rest of it into place. And there we go. It is fixed, and I think it turned out pretty decent. Of course, the edge didn't align perfectly over here, so the pretty much only visible place is not that pretty. But I do like the rest of it. After some paint and so on, it would look pretty good. I'm gonna cut this away now so I can repair that little piece. Make this into a piece of metal. And then I'm going to take my dolly, try to fold that edge. Like so, and weld it up. There we go. And I did forget something important today. I always forget something. Sometimes it's more or less important. Today I forgot to paint this on the rear. Whoops! Nothing I can do about that now, but I'm gonna fill the cavity completely with fluid film or something like that to protect it as good as possible. I will also spray some paint in there. Luckily I have an inspection hole there. I also have a rust hole down there I need to fix, so I could maybe open that up a little bit more and paint as much as possible. I can also put oil and paint through that hole up there. So yeah, it is what it is. I can't do much about it right now. Oh well, I could, but I'm not gonna cut the panel out again. So this is the progress for today. I think it turned out all right. And I'm very, very close to being able to fit the rear axle again. There's just some minor rust bits that I need to fix. One of them is the one up there, which is one of 4 rust holes that I thought I had to fix on this car. It turned out to be a lot more, of course. But yeah, no surprise, and it's not that bad. This is ready. Need to paint it, of course, and then need to fit this plastic bit right there, and then it will be almost invisible that I even did any work in here, so that's nice. Thanks for watching. Don't forget you can support me. There is a Patreon link down below. It means a lot to me. There's also the possibility of buying t-shirts if you want. See you in the next one.